So they will tell you, she's giving you that advice and telling you, hey, like I just said, any relationship is not going to be perfect. You got to roll the dice. You got to go through the struggles like she did with her hands and talked about all that. Right. But she's not following that advice because she's 42. She's talking about she still wants to have children. She has a guy she's been dealing with for 5 years who's a little younger, 9 years younger. He wants to be with her. She does not ready to commit to him. And she's dating multiple people. So she's still dating. This is crazy work. Why is it crazy, right? Why is it crazy? Why is it crazy that Dr. Umar has three baby mamas, three baby mamas, 3 children? Why is it crazy that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is telling you that relationships take work? They take time, they take work. You got to know how to deal with people's stuff and come together and work on it. Why is she telling you that? And then at the same time, herself has options. By her own word, she has options, but is not able to commit to one man, right? Why do you have that? And why is it a problem? So, the reason why it's a problem as we go forward, to talk about, we're on the internet. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, giving their opinion. We got to figure out if we're going to give advice to young people. This is what I care about on the Crucial ConvO podcast. What I care about is that if we're going to give advice to younger people, we have to figure out if we're going to give them good advice and if we have to practice what we preaching. It is so important that we practice what we're preaching or otherwise, if you don't have it together, you haven't figured it out, it's okay. But you cannot be talking to young people and giving this advice. It's the craziest work ever to see people give strong relationship advice. People who are psychologists who cannot get their own selves together, right? And some people may say, look, yeah, maybe they feel like it's normal. Some people may say, hey, your psychologist might be crazier than you. They might say your doctor is more unhealthy than you. I know that. I see it. I get it. There's plenty of doctors, medical doctors, who are completely unhealthy or not taking care of themselves. I get it, right? But they're doing their job. They're doing their job. The difference is if you're talking about a medical doctor, they're doing their job. And if they take care of themselves, it's up to them, right? But at the end of the day, that's a job function, right? It's like having a mechanic. The mechanic may fix your $100,000 Range Rover, but may drive a piece of shit that doesn't work. He may be working so hard he doesn't have time to fix his own car. That doesn't mean he's not a good mechanic. Same thing with the doctor. You may have a doctor who's brilliant, but doesn't take care of themselves. And again, you could parallel this to the subject I'm talking about tonight. But doctors, you could say they're giving advice, but they are providing a service. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, Dr. Umar Johnson are not providing a service. They're providing advice. They're providing inspiration, right? They're not the only ones, but they're the 2 examples for this show. And why it's dangerous is because when we start to zone back into the Black community, it's dangerous because the issues that are in the Black community relationship wise are exactly what they're talking about, right? But exactly the issue of them living the actual problem and not working on the problem. We have that heavily. If I said 70% of kids, Black children, are born out of wedlock, it essentially means that 70% of the children are not born into a house that has a marriage in it, right? Or at minimum has a mother and father. So that is a problem. And if we wanted to fix it, we got to make sure we have advice coming from people who are actually doing it. I don't know why so many people are giving advice and are and they're at the forefront of making all the noise, but they're not living it. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, if we talk about, if we talk about our girls, and again, I've mentioned many times on this show, our girls are so important. Our young Black girls are so important. We have to work on helping them to make good decisions. It's not just that oh, you went through life and you're in your 40s and all the men were bad and it's just happened to you. No, life is a culmination of your decisions. So what we have to do, again, we got to say to men, like, look, you don't want to have 3 baby mothers and 3 kids. You don't want to have 3 kids with 3 different baby mothers like Dr. Umar. You do not want to be like that. You know what I'm saying? Our issue isn't interracial marriage, right? Our issue is not that. The issue is people making reckless choices. That's a reckless choice Dr. Umar has made. And again, he ain't the only one. I'm just using it as an example. And it's fine. We all make mistakes. We all human. But he should have been able to answer the question when that woman asked him, how come you haven't married one of your child's mothers? 3, not 2, but 3 different women. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, she should be able to efficiently answer, well, what's going on? Why haven't you married the guy you've been with 5 years now? How can you go on Nick Cannon's platform? How can you go on Cam Newton's platform and talk about what men need to do and how they should be in the household with their children and how dangerous it is for Cam Newton to not be in the house with his kids? Because she went on and on about, you may have the money, but you're not in the household with the children. Children need more than just money. They need presence. She went on about that. She understands it well, right? But she's still skating on the outskirts of a relationship, talking about, I'm dating and this person needs work, that person needs work. But what about you? You need the work too. Now, I can give Cheyenne Bryant a little bit of a pass because she doesn't have multiple baby fathers. So in that realm, she's different than a Dr. Umar. However, for our girls, you can't be sitting out here saying I ain't got it figured out and I'm just gonna wait and be 40, pushing 50. She's 42. She'll be pushing 50 soon. You got to figure it out, and that's important. And the only way you figure things out as far as relationships and dating, all of this stuff, there's no guarantee. It's all a roll of the dice. But the only way you figure it out is to strengthen your decision making. You cannot strengthen decision making by being confused. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it by being confused. If you want to just be single and be on the outskirts and date for the rest of your life, I'm dating. Cool. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. But you can't do that and pretend that you're trying to find the right person. A lot of that is bullshit. We all know it. And again, grown women, you can't save a lot of grown women. And I don't think you can save grown men. But I think what's important is you can save younger people coming up. People that are teenagers going into adulthood, into their 20s. They need to have clear understanding to say, you know what? Do you want to be in a relationship or not? Do you want to have a family, a nuclear family or not? If you don't know, that's okay, right? But you can't be making all these decisions in the interim that end up with children. Because if you are having children, it shows you must want a family in some form or fashion, men and women alike. So you got to make good decisions. You got to practice what you preach. And we got to have real accountability. This is it's just the craziest thing I've seen lately. That's why I had to talk about this with Dr. Umar Johnson, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. 2 people, they're not dummies. They're both smart, but they're not practicing what they preach. And there's too much of that out here, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, you're tapped in with your boy Kojo. This is the Crucial ConvO podcast. If you have not hit the subscribe button, hit that really hard. Turn on notifications. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm out of here. Talk to you soon.